Why don't F1 cars have dimples like a golf ball? This might sound like a stupid question, but back when golfers used to use smooth balls, they found that their older balls that had got dimples in them actually flew a lot further than the newer balls they were using. Compared to a smooth golf ball, a golf ball with dimples in it can actually fly up to 2 times as far with the same force. So what's this got to do with Formula 1? Now Mythbusters actually made a full-scale golf ball car, and they found that for the same car, it was actually 11% more fuel efficient to have these dimples on the outside. If this technology is so good, and it actually makes cars more fuel efficient, why isn't it used in road cars and Formula 1 cars already? To understand this, we need to look at the science behind it. So let's look at the aerodynamics of a golf ball. It has indents on the surface which allows the golf ball to create a slipstream, allowing it to fly further. Without these dimples, it creates a laminar flow on the surface, which creates a local boundary layer of slow moving air. When this air passes the midpoint, it needs to contract with the shape of the ball, which it struggles to do. Instead, it lets go and creates a large wake, a term you may be familiar with in F1 cars. This creates a large amount of drag. Adding dimples allows the air passing over the surface to become turbulent. The flow stays attached for longer when passing over the surface and creates a smaller wake and hence less drag. So far this all sounds fairly positive. If the force coming from the engine going into the car is the same, surely less drag on the F1 car means you will be allowed to go a lot quicker. Well, this isn't actually the case. F1 cars are extremely draggy and they are not designed to be that quick in a straight line. The record for a Formula 1 car is held by Valtteri Bottas back in 2016 on the straight on the Mexican City Grand Prix. He hit 231.4 miles per hour. Comparing this to road cars such as the Bugatti Veyron, they can hit in excess of 300 miles per hour fairly easily. So if there's so many cars that are quicker than F1 cars in a straight line, why are they considered the most technologically advanced cars? It is to do with their cornering speeds. These cars are built to corner at high speeds. Now they do this through high amounts of downforce, which allows them to hit the apex at an extremely high speed because of the high amounts of downforce exerted on the car. Now an amazing example of this is Lewis Hamilton in 2020, going through turns 9 to 11 of Spa. Now just watch the throttle, he just has full throttle through these corners, and he's actually increasing his speed here, coming out of the corner and changes up a gear. So you may think that drag and air resistance is a bad thing in Formula 1 cars. You want to create a car with the least amount of drag, but this isn't actually the case. If you have an extremely blocky shape, a lot of drag is just going to slow the car down. But surprisingly, F1 cars aren't built like blocks and they're more like this sort of shape, even though this is extremely oversimplified. Now when the air hits the car, it passes over the surface, creating an extremely large amount of downforce. Now this pushes the car into the ground, which allows the car to hit a corner at a high speed without spinning off. Now there's all sort of myths, but it's also been sort of speculated that a car at full speed, an F1 car, could drive upside down on a road just due to the sheer amount of downforce produced by this car. Another thing is downforce isn't the main sort of concern with F1 teams. It's fairly easy to create a large amount of downforce, you just stick a massive front or rear wing on your car, but a lot more of the innovation and research goes into directing the airflow into specific positions, and F1 cars do have vortex creating components on the car, such as the one shown, in order to redirect the flow in the best and most optimal way. Now in terms of the surface, F1 teams have clearly looked into this before, and I think all F1 teams have considered this if it would make their car faster. They've even looked into using a shark skin type surface to allow the air to pass over quicker, but obviously this wasn't beneficial as teams would be using this right now. So why isn't this used in F1 cars? It is because they need to produce high amounts of downforce. This has actually been trialled in road cars such as the Bugatti. When you need to have the air separate off the car, they have experimented, and the new one actually uses this dimple technology in order to create turbulent air before the separation. Now this allows the car to go faster, but this technology is not used in Formula 1 at the moment. This could be something that could be used in the future, but it's not currently on F1 cars. Maybe at circuits like Monza, when you want to accelerate as quick as possible and you don't actually need a high amount of downforce. Look at the difference between these Red Bull rear wings at the top. I think this is a high downforce circuit compared to a low downforce circuit. The rear wings, which create a large amount of the downforce in F1 cars, can be extremely narrow. So maybe we'll see cars looking a little bit more like this around the circuits of Monza in the future. Thanks for watching. If you've made it to the end of the video, if you could consider liking and subscribing, it really helps small channels like mine grow, and I really appreciate it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.